Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Vivid Earth. How's everyone doing today? Or how are you doing today, the 24th of September? It is Heritage Day in South Africa. Yeah, it's really just an excuse for most people to have a public holiday, enjoy life, have a braai, as it's called in South Africa, which is a barbecue, if you know what that is. Anyway, so I know it's been a few days and I've been busy, and I had a really great session on Sunday evening with my 5D community. It was really, really lovely. We really just anchored in the New Earth codes during the solar eclipse and the equinox the next day. Um, just actually make sure the mic is close. I keep forgetting the mic. Um, I kept saying it was the solstice. I don't know why. It wasn't one slip up, it was at least six, which was weird. Maybe there's something around the solstice that I need to pay attention to. Um, and I'm yet to figure out what that is, but it certainly is an interesting thought. And then a lot more stuff has come up for me on 3i Atlas. Now, I know you're going to say, enough already about 3i Atlas, but it really keeps unfolding. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, and we're discovering more and more about this interstellar object as time goes on. And the interesting thing is also on the solstice is when the 3i Atlas will be closest to Earth. So I don't know, maybe that was something that I needed to be drawn attention to by myself. Who knows, guys? But some other things did come up for me also on 3i Atlas. More information. I did report last week that apparently 3i Atlas is from Sagittarius star system, specifically Sagittarius A. And that got me thinking because I've been studying the deep space objects of late. We're talking about objects beyond our galaxy, black holes, as some people call them, and specifically the Galactic Centre, the Super Galactic Centre, and then the Great Attractor and the Shapley Attractor. Those are four major black holes from galaxies nearby, not even from ours, that actually influences this planet. So it's very ancient, and it's got a lot of ancient knowledge, almost like source codes, if you will. And then I started thinking, what if the Galactic Center is situated in Sagittarius A, and 3i Atlas is also from Sagittarius A? That's like a hell of a coincidence. And so I started looking at, could actually 3i Atlas be from the Galactic Center, and what does that mean? And as I said, I have been studying these subjects and actually discovered that I have in my astrological chart links to both the Galactic Center and the Shapley Attractor, which is quite rare, supposedly. And interestingly, I've been attracting clients also with these alignments, in those that wanted a soul path reading and blueprint analysis for me. And that's been really interesting as well. And I believe this is what happens when you start diving into a subject. When you discover you have alignments, then you'll discover other people as well, because it is a rarity in astrology. It is part of galactic astrology. So a lot of normal astrologers, whether it's tropical or Vedic, they don't really study the galactic side of things. They don't know much about it, and it is quite rare. Not a lot of people specialize in that. And I first got interested about 4 or 5 years ago, and then dove into that, but then kind of, I don't know, got busy with other things during my awakening, and recently dove back in there and discovered that I have alignments. So that is really interesting. Now, just to kind of look at this from a more astronomy point of view, if you don't, if you want to kind of go beyond the woo-woo and get the hard facts, the galactic center of the Milky Way is a real physical place in the sky. The region around the radio source Sagittarius A, which is a supermassive black hole of roughly 4 million solar masses. It's like 4 million times bigger than the sun. It's about 8 kiloparsecs, which is 26,000 light years from us in the direction of the Sagittarius constellation. 26,000 years. Aren't we just closing off a 26,000 year cycle as well? Yes, we are. And that is the turn of the ages. That is us entering into the age of Aquarius. It only happens every 26,000 years. The age of enlightenment, the golden age. If you compare that to the Kali Yuga, the Yuga cycles, the Kali Yuga that we're just moving out of and entering the Satsa cycle. I forgot now how it's pronounced. So all of that is it's a big coincidence, isn't it? Well, as we know, there are no coincidences. So that's what makes it even more interesting. So if we look at celestial coordinate terms, the IAU, which is the radio astronomy marker for the Galactic Center, sits in Sagittarius. I'm not going to quote all the coordinates of that, but it is at 29 degrees, at December 29 degrees. Because of how ecliptic zodiacal longitudes map onto the sky, astrologers usually place the galactic center at roughly 26 to 27 degrees of Sagittarius. So you can actually check if you have alignments to that in your galactic chart. And this is the conventional astrological position most people use. Astronomers keep finding surprising chemistry and complexity in the galactic center. Hello, no surprise. For example, discoveries of many organic prebiotic molecules in recent years, which makes it scientifically interesting as a birthplace or a lab for star formation and complex chemistry. Not consciousness in the empirical sense, but a richly active information-dense region astrophysically. Now that's very interesting because the galactic center in more sort of metaphysical terms is supposedly all about bringing ancient galactic wisdom to the planet through certain channels and people. And that's why certain people have alignments with the galactic center. And as in terms of being a birthplace for star formation, it sounds a lot like source to me. If you had to look at what is source and where does it come from and what does it do? Isn't it the birthplace of stars, the birthplace of all of life? I don't know, but it's very interesting if you think about that. And then the astrological metaphysical reading, how people usually interpret, the galactic center. In astrology, is symbolic and archetypal rather than a testable physical mechanism, as we know in the sense of science in its limited capacity at this stage. But it's certainly meaningful to many people as a map of collective archetypal currents, and I believe much more than that. So some of the common threads among astrologers and metaphysical writers, we just have to kind of gloss over that for what it's worth. So they say about the galactic center, a doorway of source energy. Wow, I'm just literally reading this little bit of information that I saved, not having read it before. So source energy indeed is that energy of the galactic center. So many astrologers treat the galactic center as a focal point for collective galactic consciousness, a source of potential, deep instinctive knowing, and transpersonal downloads. Planets conjunct to the galactic center often read as amplifying that planet's capacity to access larger collective or transpersonal information. Interesting. Information, revelation, and the big picture, because Sagittarius, the sign, rules philosophy, truth-seeking, and the big narrative of the big picture. The galactic center at 26 to 27 degrees Sagittarius is associated with revelations, breakthroughs in worldviews, or sudden openings to cosmic perspective, and which makes it even more relevant for me right now, why it is coming into our consciousness right now, and in fact, why 3i Atlas is actually originating from there. So it becomes more and more layered and interesting, literally by the day. Um, so practically speaking, transits or conjunctions here are read as times when bigger frames of meaning show up. So that is why people with that alignment could have something to do with bringing some of that new worldviews, bigger picture thinking, cosmic wisdom, new philosophies onto the planet, which is, yeah, super interesting. So in terms of the intensity and the mystery, the galactic center sits at the center of our galaxy. Sorry, I said it's not on our galaxy. I think it's the Shapley Attractor that is not in our galaxy, but the galactic center, I apologize, is in our galaxy. So it's a very dense, energetic, partially hidden behind dust and complex dynamics. So astrologers often describe the galactic center line placements as bringing intensity and magnetic attraction to mystery, fascination with origins, or a sense of being called by something very big and ancient. And yes, indeed it is. And I've seen it in the people that I've seen with that placement as well. Um, so in terms of collective evolutionary influence, when slow-moving outer planets make significant aspects to the galactic center, some practitioners read that as a collective upgrade. Are we going through a collective upgrade? I would say so. You know, a lot of people say, but nothing is changing. Everything is the same. I don't see anything changing. You're just not looking closely enough, I have to say. You're not noticing the energetic shifts that are currently happening on our planet. And at some point, you're going to say, oh, whoa, I missed all of that. And look at us now. Yeah. So, you know, typically that means like shifts in worldview, which we're currently living through. The red pilling of the masses is what we're living through right now. It's a changing of worldview, slowly but surely. I know for a lot of people that is not the case. You know, we've got some crazy behavior out there, you know, just as it was announced that Tylenol is harmful for pregnant women, a bunch of pregnant women go out and in pure rebellion is just chugging these things down just because um, Trump made that statement. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in their minds, but yeah, suffice to say they do not know what they are doing. So you know there is still that crazy behavior out there, but with a lot of people there's a shifting of worldview, how they view things, how they view life itself. There's a big shift happening, and I think that's undeniable. But also in scientific paradigms, and we can see that as well. Scientists are realizing that they, you know, the reduction theory that they've been following is not really sufficient at this point, and that there are other things that they should be looking at, and also with, you know, quantum physics and all of that coming into the mix, you know, science in its original form in terms of the reductionist theory isn't working anymore. So we're going to see huge shifts in scientific paradigms, um, and in structures and how we look at life. And all of that is going to ripple throughout culture. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it is going to come in a big way, and it's going to pick up speed as we go along. Um, so if we look at 3i Atlas, and somebody dubbed it third eye Atlas, which makes sense, doesn't it? It's like coding and comms, and if we read it like that, yes, that's exactly what it means. And then, but if we look at you know, it more in a sort of metaphysical, poetic way, um, 3i Atlas can be seen as a channeling or an anchoring of energetic current, whose symbolic origin is the galactic center. It's physically from there, and symbolically it aligns with that. Then the archetypal meaning fits well. project could be described as a conduit for large-scale cosmological information, for perspective shifts, and for transmissions that aim to rewrite or expand human storylines. We think about philosophy, cosmology, origin myths, codes. And so I feel like 3 Atlas came into our view exactly when it was divine timing. When Earth was shifting into higher consciousness, so did 3 Atlas come in as well. And it's got a slow journey, which, by the way, it doesn't have to have because it can travel via portal travel. But that is kind of helping to build the narrative, desensitize people to the fact that there is intelligent life out there. They already know now that this is not a comet. It is actually a spaceship structure of some sort, something that has consciousness, something that changes color and form, which is phenomenal. It's just changed to emerald green last week, aligning with the heart chakra. And so it's conscious and it has an effect on us. It's already, approaching the sun, and it will be closest to the sun and behind the sun on the 29th, 30th of October. And not only that, it's going to meet up with the new interstellar object that we don't have that much information about yet, which is Swan R2. Also a very curious name, I would add. Um, so, so if you look at 3 Atlas and its identity or mission, if you have to read into that, Sagittarius, combined with the Galactic Centre, symbolism suggests work that brings big picture context, ancient cosmic narratives, and downloads of new meaning or knowledge to humanity. So humanity, those of us that are channels, conduits for that information, will be able to download that information more easily. So it's actually helping, also through helping us, it's helping the planet, because we'll be downloading that information and sharing it with others and sending it into the quantum field as such to be absorbed by others. So very interesting. So what I'm going to be doing actually is I'm going to be doing some little activations around key points, especially when Sagittarius is in between 26 and 27 degrees. So I'll be doing some key things around that. The next date will be at the end of October somewhere. I think it's either 24th or the 26th. I'm gonna check that and let you guys know. And then there's another one at the end of November. So definitely looking to put something together around those dates to anchor in that the downloads and speed up the transition of Earth and all of the new cosmic wisdom that is coming in, and hoping the collective will absorb it by purely being in our space. So I will let you guys know. I will do probably a physical gathering here in Cape Town for those that are interested. If I don't have all the details yet, but you can email me at anina@vividearth.org to express your interest, and I will publish information about that very soon. It will probably be on the 25th of October, which is a Saturday. And curiously, that is also my birthday. So that is my solar return, which is interesting because also with my solar return, there's a very profound Shapley Attractor conjunction. So I'm busy unpacking all of those things and what it means for my life and my bigger mission here on Earth, which is a lot of responsibility for others. So I want to get it right, and I want to fully step into that mastery and be responsible with how I transmit certain messages and downloads. But suffice to say, I'm excited about that. I'm going to be working on that and weaving that into my transmissions here on YouTube and elsewhere, and physical gatherings. And so I wish more of us could gather physically at this point, but unfortunately, not yet. There's no commercial portal travel here on Earth yet, but hopefully very soon we can be in each other's physical presence within moments, really, which is exciting. Um, so yeah, what else can I tell you guys? So if you feel drawn to this information or to find out more about this, um, maybe you want to consider a blueprint reading, a life blueprint reading, which looks at your natal chart, your astrological, your galactic astrology, your numerology, and generally just an intuitive reading. Because maybe what will happen in the future, we'll have a small working group of people with these alignments in their charts to actually work together and amplify the downloads that are coming and that we are primed for, and do this as a group, because humanity is going to shift dramatically over the coming weeks, months, and years, and we want to embrace every opportunity we can to bring more of that wisdom and knowledge to the planet, integrate it, sharing it with others, helping our planet transform, helping with the ascension process, which it's going to. Um, so I'm putting it out there. If anyone is interested, you can email me and we can discuss it. Um, I think it's going to be very relevant in the days and weeks to come. And who knows, as I said before, the fact that 3R Atlas and Swan R2 are connecting practically behind the sun, I feel like they're going to, already as it is, we know that Atlas can cause solar flares, okay, just in its proximity to the sun. Now, Swan R2 is 100 times bigger than 3R Atlas. What if the two meet up behind the sun together? Can you imagine what that is? For me, it feels like there could be a quite a big-ish. I wouldn't say it's the big, but a big-ish. It could be, but I seem to think it's a big-ish solar flash. Maybe it's not the big one in one go. Maybe we will get two or three to make it more digestible for the human race. So I've spoken about this before. It's purely kind of an intuitive download and speculation, you could say. I can't prove that, but certainly the dots connect to something like that. And, could we get a flash like that at the end of October? I don't know, but it's very possible. Just even looking at the scientific facts around Atlas, if you listen to Stefan Burns, he will tell you that it does stimulate solar flares and solar activities purely by being in the presence or in the region of the sun, and that has an effect on Earth. So if they are then behind the sun, we've got the sun and then we've got Earth. Well, I don't know. For me, it's like, wow, that is pretty significant and hard to ignore. So, I hope you guys are not tired of this subject, because it's going to keep unfolding and it's going to keep evolving and revealing itself to us. And so I'll be reporting more on this, especially Swan R2. I haven't had much time to study that and I haven't seen much come out around it, but I'm certainly going to see what further I can download around that, and what I can find research-wise as well. And just remember, it is 100 times bigger than Atlas. So it's the size of Manhattan. It's massive. And if we are going to have a significant ascension event, I would imagine those two objects could be instrumental in holding the frequency, modulating the frequency. If there is going to be a solar flash, to kind of, you know, moderate things a little bit, so that it's not a destructive force, but that it's a beautiful force of ascension for the planet, and it can actually renew the entire planet. So, those are my thoughts around it. Watch this space, and I will report back as I know more. And I think that's all I want to say for now. Suffice to say, all of this is bringing big revelations, big exposure, disclosure. So, keep doing the work. Keep going within. Don't, watch the news excessively. It's got no real purpose for you. It's not going to help you ascend. Watching the news is not going to help you ascend, not even the alternative news. So, really just focus on your own growth and your own joy ultimately, because you don't need to be seeking and striving in every moment to be a better ascension master. Sometimes it happens organically when you are still, when you are in a relaxed state, when your parasympathetic nervous system is relaxed, and when you enjoy. Everyone knows that your frequency rises when you enjoy, when you have a good, honest laugh, when you dance, when you, like an innocent child, dancing and enjoying nature and enjoying the simple things in life that can raise your frequency. And so make sure that you have regular moments of joy, regular moments of rest, regular moments of contemplation. Really, you don't have to sit cross-legged and meditate for hours. It can be helpful, but there are other things that you can do as well. It's not the only thing. And more than anything, just be present and being self-aware, and working on being that neutral observer. If you are an empath, work at, being a little bit more neutral with your emotions, because that's a strength as well as a weakness. So, that's our many of starseeds that are empaths cross to bear. We have to become more of the neutral observer, because when we have to help the rest of the planet, and we can't be in a state every time somebody or something suffers. We have to be able to be the neutral observer, to be able to shift things and hold the frequency and hold the light, steady. We need to hold it steady. You can't hold it steady when your emotions are up and down and all over the place. You just can't. So work on that. Becoming self-aware. Remember, this is not all that you are. This is just my human avatar. I am a much more ancient, multidimensional galactic being, and so are you. So focus on that bigger presence and invite more and more of it into your body, so that the wisdom and the downloads and all of the knowing and the remembrance will come, and it will come. Just set your intentions. Yeah, and ask your higher self, speak out loud, make a prayer before you go to sleep. It will happen. You got to just be ready, humble yourself, commit yourself to helping the planet, being in service of others, not doing it because you want to be a spiritual celebrity, because that ain't going to work. Um, you have to really be humble about this path, because uh, there will be a strong focus on service to others, because we will have all of our needs met. There will not be any lack, any scarcity on this planet anymore in a few years. So could be sooner, but I'm not making any time predictions. So in that sense, think about your bigger purpose, about how you want to serve humanity, how you want to help humanity. Maybe that'll grow into a humanitarian project that you can run. So think about all those beautiful things, and remember to relax and just be in the moment as well, because we create the future in every moment. And if you're not living in the moment, then you're not creating the future you want, unfortunately. As much as you are wishing and wanting things, that's not what makes it happen. It's about being in the right frequency in the every moment, making the right choices in every moment of every day. That creates your future. Remember that. So in other words, that creates new earth, that energy. So what is the energy that you hold there? The energy that you don't have, lack, you wish, you hope, you wish you could be like someone else, you wish you could be somewhere else. Is that the energy that you want to perpetuate? No, it's not. That's not the energy you want to perpetuate. You want to perpetuate the energy of, I'm grateful, I have enough. I'm so blessed to be on earth at this time. I'm so blessed to be awake and be aware. And I'm blessed to be able to share this love and light with others. And I'm blessed to be able to look at all my shadows and integrate them, transmute them. I'm blessed to be present enough for all of it. So gratitude will take you a long way, guys. So don't forget to practice gratitude Every single day, it will change your life. So, yeah, if you want to join our 5D Mastery community, we meet every second Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. South African Standard Time. It's about an hour and a half, and we are a beautiful, small, intimate community. The Aquarian Age is all about building communities. So, this is the ideal time to join like minded communities, like minded hearts and souls, so we can co create this new earth together and amplify the energy. What happens in these meetings is we amplify that energy of creation, of love, of unity, of a beautiful tomorrow. And that's what we want to be doing. And so we are making a difference. We're doing activations, we're learning new things in these sessions. Um, so join us. You can check it out on my website, vividearth.org. You can just scroll down and look at the 5D Mastery community, click on that. Otherwise, it's a small fee just to pay web maintenance fees to join. But if it's too much for you, you can just email me at anina@vividearth.org, and we'll try and make a plan for you. So we want everyone there that feels called to be part of that. So what else? I think that's it. Don't forget, LifeWave is the only thing I'm currently promoting because I'm blown away by that product. Crystal technology. It basically is like a crystal patch that you apply to your skin every day that reflects back your own light into your body, stimulating your stem cells. So that is incredible technology that can help you. I'm feeling a lot lighter, not only physically, but also etherically lighter. I'm feeling, yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but I feel a lot lighter since I've been using it, and physically as well. I don't have the aches and pains that I used to have, and I'll keep reporting back on my results, but I can highly recommend it. And the links are below if you want to become preferred customer or even a business partner. If you want to launch a 5D business, you can check that out. And there's a great team that can support you there. So guys, with that said, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I'm sending you all much love, and I'll speak to you very soon.